I release, I let go, I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only with God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only for God.
Good morning, CSL Simi Valley. Welcome to Virch. Here we are, closing out the month of February, and it's a good thing and a not so good thing when you think about it. Oh boy, I tell you, I put before you this day blessings and curses. What shall you choose? Let's choose the blessings, even if it does feel like a curse. There's always a lesson in the blessing. Yes, indeed. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Also woke up this morning with my mind stayed on Black History Month as we bring it to a close. It's been a fantastic month, particularly on Oneness at One, where we've been traveling across the country. We had Auntie Ruth come in and tell us the stories of Dick Gregory. Cousin William came in from Florida. Auntie Ruth from South Carolina. William from Florida telling us about Eatonville, Florida, a village that was started by a black man who bought 150 acres and gave land away to start this village in southern Florida, or central Florida, along the western coast of Florida, the Gulf of Mexico side. So all kinds of stuff we've been talking about and sharing about. Last week we looked at Black history within the Science of Mind movement, and we'll continue that again today with the help of the Center for Spiritual Living Dallas, which has a committee that has put together some great information, and a lot of that information talks about the history of the New Thought movement right here in Southern California. And here's one that's a connection that we all share. Some of us all took a tour of this particular place. Here's a little more history about it, and about a gentleman that sang a song that if you eat one every day, you feel good and you keep the doctor away. Here we go.
Here's a little-known Black history Science of Mind fact. Some of you might know that Founders Church of Religious Science opened in Los Angeles in 1960. But do you know it was designed by a black man? Ernest Holmes asked Paul Revere Williams, the first African-American admitted to the American Institute of Architects, to sketch an idea for the building in 1957. Williams produced a sketch of an elliptical circle, and Holmes liked what he saw. To Holmes, the sketch was the perfect symbol for wholeness, unity, the unending and all-inclusive power of love. Williams designed many landmark buildings in Los Angeles, including the iconic LAX Airport Terminal. He was later named a Fellow by the American Institute of Architects, a high honor for his outstanding achievements. Another Science of Mind Black history fact also involves Los Angeles and a famous singer.
This God didn't make little green apples, it don't rain in Indianapolis in the summertime.
You might recognize this song and this deep, sultry singing voice.
No such thing as Dr. Seuss, no Disneyland, Mother Goose is no nursery rhyme.
1969's best song, Grammy Award winner for Little Green Apples, celebrated vocalist O.C. Smith.
And when myself is feeling low, I think about a face of glow and ease my mind.
The talented Smith experienced several career highs that only the best musical dreams are made of. But even though Little Green Apples hit number 2 on the Billboard charts and sold more than 1 million records, the former vocalist for phenomenal band leader Count Basie knew deep down there was something more. Smith told an interviewer, "After the music success I had, I was still searching for something and didn't know what it was. I kept looking outside of myself, not realizing the reaching is in the soul, not outside." His life gained new purpose in 1980 when he and his wife Robbie Golson discovered Science of Mind. Introduced by Dr. Joseph Murphy of Laguna Beach, Smith finally heard what he had believed for so long: God as a metaphysical entity, one with all, belonging in each of us, and uniting us if we wish to see the Almighty. Inspired by the powerful spiritual principles he internalized, Smith even started explaining the metaphysical meanings of songs during his concerts. Profoundly struck by Science of Mind, Smith gave up his music career to study divinity, and in 1985, Dr. O.C. Smith became pastor of the City of Angels Science of Mind Center in Los Angeles.
We must recognize beauty right where we are. That's why Dr. Ernest Holmes said, there is not a spot where God is not.
He gained a reputation for mixing jazz with storytelling and for being a loving force of financial support to single-parent households, low-income families, and foster children. The church's City of Angels Foundation also provided dozens of scholarships to help students attend colleges across the nation. Dr. O.C. Smith and Paul Revere Williams, Black evolutionaries in science of mind.
Much gratitude to our friends in Dallas for putting together these wonderful videos. How about that about O.C. Smith? So incredible. And Paul Williams, that gentleman, one of the things that he did that was so amazing, because at the time he was beginning his career at the height of Jim Crow, so many times in the architectural firm that he worked with, people would come in and they would want to talk to the architect, not thinking that he was the architect. And oftentimes they didn't want to talk to him, and they definitely didn't want to talk on his same side of the desk. Something about that space proximity. He would say, when people were resistant to speaking to him, he says, "What are you looking for?" And they would begin to talk, and he would begin to sketch. And he developed a skill to sketch upside down so that you could see the sketch from that side of the desk. And in so doing, was able to prove his talent and his skill to people, and eventually became the architect of the stars. He built a number of the stars' homes in Hollywood, Hancock Park, Beverly Hills, as well as the iconic structures that you saw in that video. So great to know and to be connected with Paul Williams, all of us connected with founders, and of course, will you ever be able to hear Little Green Apples the same now that you know about the story of O.C. Smith? So that's just how this new thought movement works. As O.C. said, he found that truth. And I think for many of us, we found home. We found our tribe. I know when I opened up the textbook and I saw those first 4 chapters, the thing itself, what it does, how it works, and how to use it, I thought, that's what I've always believed in, that there is some power greater than everything that all people can relate to. I just don't know what it is called. And when I looked in the book, and Dr. Holmes didn't know what it was called either, he just called it itself, I so resonated with that. And that led to my journey of getting here. So I really relate to the O.C. Smith journey because it's similar to the journey experience I had. So thanks for enjoying that. I hope you did. There are more of those videos available on YouTube. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Dr. Petra if it's okay if we post those on our YouTube channel as well, so you can access them through our archives within our own website. Okay, so that's some of the stuff we do to live our mission and our vision and to bring it to life and to share with each other. I hope you're all putting your comments in and such like that, but this is how we've been able to hold ourselves together as community as we approach a year. It was March 14th when I put out the video that said we're going to go and use the suggested guidelines for good health and safety protocols, and we began doing live service away from the center and then later called it Virch. And here we are 11 months and 4 weeks later, just about. I think it's March is coming up, and wow. But we are still holding our vision and our mission and purpose all the way. Here is what it says for you. We're community, inclusive, loving, and authentic. Can I hear you saying it at home? We celebrate all paths to God. You know it. That's right. In gratitude, power self and others. We serve compassionately through outreach, inspiration, and education. That's who we are. That's why we're here. And here's what we do.
I'm Kathy Burt. I'm here to do the announcements with you. And yes, I've maneuvered my background so that I am looking very, would you say, angelic? Yeah, that's what I'd say. It's a skylight, but hey, it works, right? Okay, so I'm here to do the announcements. We're saying goodbye to February and hello to March. It's time for the Simi Community Salon with Dorothy and Reverend Johanna. They're ready to guide us in sharing our hearts to the arts. This month's theme is Renewal, the Opulence of Nature. Here's the Zoom information for this Wednesday's salon. The sharing begins at 7 p.m. Let's fill up that Zoom room, folks. Please invite a friend. This is such a fun event that I think is going under the radar of many people that would love it. Just people come and share whatever. They share poetry, they sing, I've shared my paintings before, and however, there's been many months when I didn't have anything to share, and I just love to show up and see what everyone else is sharing. I am a patron of the arts, so if you too are a patron of the arts, please come and see. Okay, not only do we have the salon that I've talked about, we also have many other community bonding activities taking place throughout the week, from practicing Oneness at One on Facebook, to Play and Learn with Dr. Susan on YouTube, to Yoga with Debbie on Zoom. We've got the virtual world covered. Boy, that is for sure. Details are available on the center's website, cslsimi.org. Okay. Another service we offer is treatment with a practitioner, and you all know this. Please, if you need a practitioner, please do not hesitate to reach out. We have such lovely practitioners in our center, and they so much love to help you. They love to help their family. They love to help their friends. They never don't want to help. I just did a double negative. But the point is, they love to help, and during these times, don't we all need to connect sometimes? You can get the information about how to find a practitioner by calling the church office or by going to the website. They're all listed on the website, or please call the church office and you can get connected with a practitioner. Do not hesitate. We're grateful you're here this morning, whether you're joining live from one of our Facebook pages, the CSL Simi Valley YouTube channel, or the website's live stream. Let us know you're with us by typing your comments and reflections about today's talk into the chat window. We're monitoring the chat window because Virch is on so many platforms now. Boy, it's amazing, isn't it? This technology. Thank God. All I can say, thank you, God, for this technology. It's amazing. And so now we have people monitoring the chats, and we somehow we're bringing it all together, and then Johanna will add them to the recap at the end. And don't hesitate to put your comment in, because it adds whatever insight you have, it'll add to what other insights people have, and that is a gift. And isn't it nice that we can interact? Let's make this live and interactive. So don't hesitate. Put those chats in, those comments. I'm so happy to have done the announcements. And so please enjoy the service, okay? We're ready to sing along with Cherie Deeds and the Soul Purpose Band. I love you all. Mwah.
Holy, 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 holy,
It's time for our affirmation. I will read it first, and then we'll all say it together. Life is good, and as I lovingly share my good, I help make life more wonderful for all creation. Together. Life is good, and as I lovingly share my good, I help make life more wonderful for all creation. My reading today is from Share Your Good News and You Will Be Better Off by Emma Seppala in Scientific American, December 2012. Studies have shown that making daily lists of the things we feel grateful for improves our psychological and physical health and well-being. Gratitude improves our ability to connect with others, boosts our altruistic tendencies, makes us optimistic and happier, decreases envy and materialism, and even improves health. Verbally expressing the gratitude we feel to people close to us helps us to increase and sustain our well-being, more than simply feeling it or writing it down. Great literary figures have long known that happiness grows in sharing. In one of her letters, Charlotte Bronte observes, "Happiness quite unshared can scarcely be called happiness. It has no taste." In The Common Reader, Virginia Woolf writes, "Pleasure has no relish unless we share it." Research validates their wisdom. People who talk to people they are close to about the good things that happen to them also tend to feel happier and more satisfied with life. Sharing joy increases joy. There is one life. There is one divine essence. And each of us is an instantiation of that essence. Each of us is a divine presence, and we have that divine presence in us. We are love, we are beauty, we are wisdom, we are power, we are every good thing. And right now we come together consciously, collectively, to declare that life is good. As Ernest Holmes says, we turn away from appearances and we affirm life is good, all is well. So from this place of agreement and knowing the greatness of everything that is, we bless this service. We bless everyone who is participating in creating this service, everybody who sees this right now as a community, who watches it later online. We know that we are blessed and we are a blessing. We are so grateful for this center, for our teachers, for this wisdom, for our remembering and reminding of all that this means to us. And from this place of gratitude, we release these words to the law, and the law says yes. And we express this, and we receive this, and we exude this when we all say together, and so it is.
You call me out upon the waters, the great unknown, where feet may fail. And there I find you in the mystery, in oceans deep, my faith will stand, and I will call upon your name and keep my eyes above the waves. When oceans rise, my soul will rest in your embrace. For I am yours and you are mine. Your grace abounds in deepest waters. Your sovereign hand will be my guide. Where feet may fail and fear surrounds me, you never failed and you won't start now. So I will call upon your name and keep my eyes above the waves. When oceans rise, my soul will rest in your embrace. For I am yours and you are mine. Lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in the presence of the Spirit. Spirit leads me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in the presence of the Spirit. Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in the presence of the Spirit.
Now it's time for our GAP meditation. GAP stands for God Awareness Place. This morning, you can close your eyes as you meditate, or you can imagine that you're lying in a park looking up at the sky through the trees. Welcome back. Remember, consider taking breaks throughout the day to consciously connect with the divine. Namaste.
The heart is a bloom, shoots up through the stony ground. There is no room, no space to rent in this town. You're out of love, and the reason that you had to care, the traffic is stuck. You're not moving anywhere. You thought you'd found a friend to take you out of this place, someone you could lend a hand in return for grace. It's a beautiful day. Sky falls, you feel like it's a beautiful day. Yeah. You're on the road, but you got no destination. You're in the mud, in the maze of your imagination. You love this town. Oh, even if it doesn't ring true, you've been all over, and it's been all over you. It's a beautiful day. Sky falls, you feel like it's a beautiful day. Don't let it get away. Touch me, take me to that other place. Teach me love. I know I'm not a hopeless case. See the world in green and blue. See China right in front of you. See the canyons broken by cloud. See the tuna fleets clearing the sea out. See the Bedouin fires at night. See the oil fields at first light. See the bird with a leaf in her mouth. After the flood, all the colors came out. Oh, yeah, yeah. It's a beautiful day. Sky falls and feel like it's a beautiful day. Don't let it get away. Touch me, take me to that other place. Teach me love. I know I'm not a hopeless case. Oh, sky falls, you feel like it's a beautiful day. Don't let it get away. Don't let it get away. Don't let it get away.
Angela Carole Brown. Don't let it get away. Don't let the beautiful day get away. And one of the ways, both those songs and everything, all of it, Kathy Burt with her announcements, the angelic Kathy Burt with her announcements, and really, that's just beautiful. Rob, thank you so much. You're right. Yeah, sharing joy increases joy. Absolutely. And sharing ourselves with the other increases life for us all. And that takes us into the conversation that Eugene Holden and I are going to have, which is the end of our journey into the expression of love, loving the yes, loving more, loving the self, so that we can love the wonderful, wonderful, wonderful you that is part of our lives. The wonderful, wonderful, wonderful you. So we're going to deal with that today in a conversation with our friend Eugene Holden, who was here on his birthday a couple years ago now, but he's back again, and this is a conversation that we had earlier this week. Here we go with Eugene Holden. Eugene Holden, you know the community loves you. Say hello to CSL Simi Valley this morning.
Good morning, Centers for Spiritual Living, Simi Valley. How are you guys?
Today, let me just back up. All month it's been about love. Started with Reverend Josh, our good buddy Reverend Josh, and he talked about the idea of saying yes to love and how powerful our yes can be. Then Neil Donald Walsh came in and talked to us about how we can love more. Now that we've said yes to love, how can we love more? And then one of the things that we found out from Ami Kanumura was that the way to begin loving more is to love the self. Yes. We can love the self. We open ourselves up to a space of compassion for the other, which sets us up for today.
Yes.
Last week was wonderful, wonderful, wonderful me. That's loving the self, right? From Curtis Hopkins. Now it's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful you, right? When you hear that and you hear the setup, what does that call to you when you think about the wonderful you aspect of life?
I look at it as looking into the mirror, right? And doing that mirror work, going, God, I love you. I love you. Last week, as you were saying, it's the wonderful, wonderful, wonderful I. And then looking into the mirror, going, the wonderful, wonderful, wonderful you. I'm still, even though I'm talking to Reverend Stephen Ramble, but I'm really also talking to Eugene. Yes. Right? So when I'm talking, oh man, this is so beautiful, man. The wonderful, wonderful, wonderful you, to me, is really stepping into and then expressing from that depth of love. That no matter what happens, whoever you is doing, I still love them unconditionally because they are me and I am them.
Right. It's the takeoff on the great words of in Matthew. Thou shalt love. It's our number one commandment. The two, right? Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, with all thy mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. But here it is, the second. Like unto it, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. That's the power of this you that we're talking about.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I love that verse. And this is why. Well, number one, it's just huge. Love the Lord thy God. Call it whatever you want. Allah, whatever. But love the Lord thy God. Love the source with all thy heart, with all thy soul, with all thy mind, with all thy might. That's the first commandment. This is the part that I love. And the second is like unto the first. It's just like the first one. Just like the first one. It's not lower. It's just like the first one. And in the Aramaic translation, it's love your neighbor as yourself.
Yeah.
So in order for me to, and here's the other thing I love about that. My neighbor is not necessarily the person who lives next door.
Yes.
Maybe that neighbor is the person who pushed that button. Maybe it's that person in the market that said something to me that reminds me to love them.
We've never had that experience, no, right?
Nah, never. Like, oh yeah, I forgot. Which, speaking about I forgot, takes me back to scripture, right? Where Yeshua is how the story is told. He's on the cross and he says, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do." I like to switch that around. Just say, forgive them. And I'm talking from us, from ourselves, when people push our buttons, right? Forgive them, for they know not who they are. Because if people knew who they really were, who they really, really were, they wouldn't do what they do.
Right. And when we drill down, staying with the Matthew quote for a minute, okay, if we are to love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and all thy soul, and the second is like unto it, thou shalt love thy neighbors thyself. There's a third thing happening there. it's not just me and you are the same, but me, you are the same because we are an expression of we are God.
Yes, exactly.
So it's a triune kind
Right.
of writing there. I never really picked that up before in that that depth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but that's the part I like about, like unto the first.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so we're all talking about loving God as we love ourselves, as we love our neighbors, as we love God. So there is this infinitude of love that's going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. One of the reasons I wanted you to come with us to talk today is because of the work you do, the vision fulfilled work, the intersectionality of your work with different communities. Dr. King talks about it when he says that our goal is to create a beloved community, and this will require qualitative change in our souls as well as a quantitative change in our lives. You're in the middle of forcing that change or inviting people into that change. Tell me, there's so much there, but right now we're in a challenging space in our world. When you hear people resist making that beloved community, what is that resistance, and what ways can we help people move beyond that resistance?
Great question, Rev. The first thing for me is people talk about what is mine to do, right? And that's not my first question for me. And this is what I want to invite everyone else to tap into as well. My first question is, who am I to be? Who am I to be in this situation? Because once I become clear in who I am to be, now that informs what's mine to do. So in this, in these interesting times, I try not to say challenging times. There's nothing wrong with a challenge. We're all up for that in these dark times, and that's cool too, because that's the light can only shine where it's dark, right?
Yeah.
So we have to have that. But I also believe, Reverend Stephen, that we who are born and we are on the planet at this time doing this work, we came to this planet at this time for this work, right? So who am I to be in this moment? So maybe I'm called to be more compassionate. Maybe I'm being called to be quiet. Maybe I'm being called to be more vocal, but coming from a place of love in creating, not even creating, but revealing, revealing the beloved community where it's nothing that we are to create.
It's there.
It's already there.
Yeah.
So who am I to be? Maybe I'm to be a part of the beloved community. Ta-da.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm so in love with this Dr. King's really lovely essays in Strength to Love. And there's one he talks about being the neighbor. And he spells out the story of the Good Samaritan in such an incredible way. And he talks about the altruism of the Good Samaritan, that he had a universal altruism because he gave himself to this Jew on the road. And they, Samaritans and Jews didn't do things together. They weren't hanging together, right? But he did it anyway on a road that was filled with thieves. So stopping was a danger. So it was universal altruism, dangerous altruism. And then he took him on his own beast, on his own donkey or whatever, to an inn and left money in case the bill got a little bit too high. So he called that excessive altruism. That's the work we're talking about, right? How do we... It seems like a big call, but it can happen, right?
Yeah. What comes up is we need to let go of our own egoic ideas of ourselves with the little s, that small, that lowercase s, to let go of that egoic part that I'm the one, or I'm better than they are, or I have more. And because that puts me in that space of, I don't want you to take mine. But when we really come to the place of knowing, oh, wait a minute, you're my brother, you're my sister, we are here for each other. Oh, I get it. Forgive them, for they know not who they are. Oh, I'm a good Samaritan and we don't get along because you're Jewish and or you're white and I'm black, you know, or I practice New Thought and you practice Catholicism. Okay, so what? But none of us were born those. I wasn't born in New Thought. Person's not born with a religion. They may be born into one, but we're not born as that. We are born spiritual beings. So we get to wake up and return to that. Yeah.
You're talking about another fan of that I am of is Neville Goddard, right? And it's all about the feeling. Feeling tone. And what you were talking about, the feelings that I heard you just expressing was not only feeling a part of a tribe, a part of a group that I must protect, but also feeling fear that if I step outside of that group, if I step outside of that tribe, something's going to happen to me. And I'm scared of that dangerous altruism. I can't give it universally, and I'm definitely not going to give excessive amounts of it because I got to hold on to all of mine.
Right.
But the devil says if I can change a feeling, I can change destiny.
Right.
So we're looking at how do we shift people to change that feeling.
I love that question. That's the second time you asked. How do we get people to change that, right? You know, and here's part of the answer is that people, including myself, you know, we have to become willing to make that change. Now, I want to be willing. I don't need to know how to make the change yet. Let me be willing to make the change because my willingness will open up to let me see how. Oh, I'm willing to make this change. Oh, there's how I can do it on a small scale. So the first thing is, are we willing?
The willingness opens up the avenues to see the opportunity to practice the willing behavior, right? Yeah.
It's good stuff. You know, I ask clients sometimes, you know, whatever changes that they want to make, and we talk about, they get to that point, like, yes, and I go, now, can you make that change? They go, yes, I can. I'm like, well, of course you can, because the definition of can is you have the ability to do so. The question is, will you? Are you willing to? Yeah.
I'm looking at, again, what you call interesting times. I like dark times.
Crazy times.
crazy times.
Stuff is crazy.
And we could go through so many episodes and so many examples of the injustice and of what's going on. But there's something else that's available to us. You know, we've made a lot of, as Dr. King says, man-made laws have assured justice. We have found that a law can legislate justice. But he talks about a higher law that produces love. Do you have exercises that you use in your work that pull people into feeling that love or touching that altruistic level of love?
Yeah, I actually do. And going back to that mirror work, right? It's an interesting thing to find people say that it's an easier thing for them to love other people before loving themselves. And we see that a lot of the times in forgiveness. I have heard people say, and you probably have too, Rev, where people say, Eugene, I can forgive them quicker than I can forgive me. Okay, I get that. I can love them, just take out the word forgive and put in love. I can love them quicker than I can love myself. So this is my thing about that. Number one, if I can't or don't forgive myself, or if I can't and don't love myself first, then how much have I really forgiven them? How much have I really loved? How much do I really love them? So the exercise that I give, going back to the mirror, is looking into the mirror and saying and looking deeply into your own set of eyes and go, God, I love you, and feel that. Now, some people, I find it, especially with men, find that a hard thing to do. Oh, that's a silly exercise. Well, what they're running from is feeling that love, right? So that's one of the things that I give folks to do, right? Is to love yourself, right? Ooh, really, Spirit? Love yourself with all your might, with all your soul, with all your heart, you know, which is going back to Matthew, right?
Yes.
And then doing doing things for you that are loving. Oh, speaking and thinking thoughts that are loving to self. There's an exercise, right? Or there's this deal, right? Where nobody speaks as badly to myself than I do.
Right? If you said some of the things to me that I say to me, you wouldn't be on this Zoom call right now, dude. You'd be like
right
behind the bleachers at 3:00, right?
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
And without
exactly.
even a second thought about it.
Right.
And it's interesting how this conversation is wonderful for you, but it still comes back to me. I can't do the you part until I do the me part.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You know, I was thinking about that, right? That love the Lord thy God and love your neighbor as yourself. That's also, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It's the same thing. So when I talk about, and I jokingly say, and this is not a joke though, I love me some me. I love me some Eugene. But if I don't love me, then how can others then love me? Because it's a feeling tone. There's a vibration, right? And so how people can love themselves is to go do something good, nice for yourself. How about smiling at yourself? Ooh, how about this? When you want some self-love, forgive yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't forgive myself. Oh, then okay, fine. How's that thought been working out in your life?
Yeah, you went all Dr. Phil on me. How's that working for you? Couple things we're reflecting back, and I want to go back to the thing about the mirror, because I noticed that in those moments when I'm shaving, every now and then I will catch myself not catching myself, and will stop and look myself in the eye. There's a wonderful poem by Edgar Guest. Gosh, I wish I used to know it so well. I'll have to, you know what, everybody? I will post it. I'll post this Edgar Guest poem because it's about loving the self and how I should know that I'm not all bluster and show, that I'm a man of integrity, is what he's talking about. And if I can't get there for myself, perhaps it's that I go and do one of these. I act as if I do the altruistic, universal, dangerous, excessive giving, and then check into how I feel about that and see if I want to keep feeling like that.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Dr. Holmes talks about, he gives us the road. He gives us he's always given us the playbook. He's all about teaching. I mean, this is great. I love that. That's what he's all about, right? And he says that mind is always creative, manifesting what you think and believe as form or as some experience. So we're talking about doing that, right? We're talking about making that manifestation in your work. When you come into a room and you're assessing the various crowds, what are those elements that you're looking for in helping people to practice forgiveness, or helping people to move past a situation of injustice, or those questions where they're wondering, like you said, what is mine to do? But where do you guide them? How do you shepherd this journey for folks?
So one of the things that I do, the very first thing that I do is, all right, Spirit, you do this. You teach through me. You talk through me. You show up as me. That's my very first thing. Very first thing. I do it every single time. And when I do that, Reverend Stephen, it opens me up to feel what's going on. And then no matter who it is, be it a room with 5 people or 105, I want to meet everyone, every single one, right where they are, right? And this is what I love about the crowds when we are in a room together and I'll ask questions. Someone will, I teach a class right now, the scientific art of prayer. It's a great class. I want to talk to you about that. So we were in this work of the week 3, but we were reviewing week 2. which was unification. And I was asking them, so what are you unified with right now, right? And this student said, I'm unified with separation. I'm like, thank you so much. My saying thank you is meeting them right where they were, right? Because we understand that. Right now, I'm feeling separate. So how do I get them? How do I meet them? Is let me put myself into their shoes. Let me, because we all have been there. You know, I tell people, I don't have all of the answers. I'll be the first to say, I don't know, you know. Right. However, let's find out together. What does this feel like? Going back to that tone, right? You know, what does it feel like? And if in this moment I'm feeling separate, okay, cool. I don't know if that answered your question.
No, it does. It's really, it does. It gives me some insight in I'm hearing Emerson in the back of my mind, get your bloated nothingness out of the way of the divine circuit. Don't even the idea that I'm coming to do some altruistic work, get that out of the way.
Right.
That's going to block me.
Right.
I'm coming here to be a good Samaritan. Get that out of the way.
Yeah.
That's going to block me. So
right.
Really it's like, allow me to be a vessel, a channel for your expression.
Right. I was doing some work somewhere, and I was on the way back from wherever it was, because I'm so grateful that I get to do this work. Oh my God! And I was flying back home from wherever, and went through security, and I go get a bite to eat and a beer to go along with what I had to eat. And every time I come back during that time before the flight, that's my time to decompress, to debrief. And in this one particular day, Reverend Stephen, I'm like, man, you do good work. You're good. It was like, you're good at what you do. Mm-hmm. Then the question was, so what is it that you do? Oh, you get out of the way. Mm-hmm. Right? So the practice, so scripture says, in all thine getting, get understanding. The gospel according to Eugene is in all thine getting, get out of the way. Let spirit do what spirit does. Now that takes practice. That takes practice. All right, spirit, you speak through me. You love through me. You have this conversation through me, even when the conversation can feel contentious. You do, because now I'm coming from love. Now that may not feel good all of the time. And love is not always wishy-washy and rainbows, right? But love is powerful. Love is as Dr. Holmes talks about, right? Well, I'm going to do this myself. Love is that which is the peace, the poise, and the power. But it's based on and built in and immersed in love.
Yeah. We're close to wrapping up, but yeah, but that's okay, because it's just a comma. It's only a comma. That's right. All it's coming. That's
Take
all.
A breath.
A couple of ellipses, and then we come back. The getting out of the way, the listening and knowing. What are your cues that it is you, Eugene, vessel for spirit, or you, Eugene, I'm doing this? What are your personal cues that let you know that you're tuned in?
One of the things is what you just did. You put your hands behind your back and your chest puffed up some. Or it's me showing up, right? But my cue is going back to Neville. How am I feeling here, right? And I am always questioning me. Right? Oh, what's that about? The feeling tone will come up like a feeling of pride, false pride, because I'm proud of what I do. I'm proud that I can do this work, that I am grateful. But how do I, that's an interesting question. And it shows up by the laughter, the joy, but there is a humbleness. It took me a while to really accept that I am here to do this work. And I'm not saying this from a large head, but I'm good at what I do. I really am. And what I am good at is getting out of the way to allow spirit to move, and on that vibration, as we increase and up the frequency, then we get to draw folks up. Really, spirit? If I am lifted up, will draw all others unto me. So we're turning up the frequency. Yeah. And not being afraid to be that light. That was huge for me. Didn't want to be seen.
Yeah. Our
That
greatness
was
can be
huge.
really frightening, right?
Yeah.
Our greatness can be something that, ooh, not me, but
Right.
yeah,
Right.
you,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
wonderful,
You.
wonderful, you,
Yeah.
right,
It's you. It's all about you.
right, and
Because
God
it
has
is.
done that. And that's a great way to close. God has done that. His tattoos that tag, you're it. Now go be
Yeah.
it. So let's go be
Right.
it.
Go be it. There's nothing to do. There's no more to do. Just be. Yeah. Reverend Stephen Ramble. Yeah, man.
You know it.
Let's do this again.
We will, sir. Absolutely. Enjoy. I will talk to you soon.
Sounds good.
That's a fun man to talk with. Love me some Eugene Holden, as I see a lot of you do as well. And I did find it, and here it is. It's Edgar Guest. It's called Myself. I have to live with myself, and so I want to be fit for myself to know. I want to be able, as days go by, to always look myself straight in the eye. I don't want to stand with the setting sun and hate myself for the things I've done. I don't want to keep on a closet shelf a lot of secrets about myself and fool myself as I come and go into thinking no one else will ever know the kind of person I really am. I don't want to dress myself up in a sham. I want to go out with my head erect. I want to deserve all men's respect. But here, in the struggle for fame and wealth, I want to be able to like myself. I don't want to look at myself and know I am bluster and bluff and empty show. I can never hide myself from me. I see what others may never see. I know what others may never know. I never can fool myself, and so, whatever happens, I want to be self-respecting and conscience-free. Myself, Edgar Guest. Thank you, Lou Rambo, for turning me on to that. That is such a powerful way to set yourself up so that you can see the wonderful, wonderful you out there and bring your best to that. Like we saw in the U2 song that ACB sang for us, that to be ready for the beautiful day, to know that you out there is a part of making this beautiful day. Let's do our closing affirmation. It is: life is good, and as I lovingly share my good, I help make life more wonderful for all creation. Let's go into prayer, into the revealing prayer. I call it the revealing prayer. Sometimes we go for a healing. But see, when we know that the universe contains all that is, what needs to happen, sometimes we call it a healing, but it's really a revealing of the perfection that's already there. So join me now as we join in prayer to reveal the perfection that is already there, awaiting our acceptance of it. I feel a divine presence here right now in this moment. I call that presence Spirit, God, friend, companion, brother, sister, sometimes ocean, sky, clouds, life itself, the great itself, the thing itself, as Dr. Holmes called it. And right here in this moment, I unify each and every one of us in my consciousness with this thing that is itself, knowing that we are all living and moving and having our being by the expression called life, Spirit, God. No separation, not living from that place of separation, not acknowledging that separation right now, joining with a conscious mind into the union of all that is, and therefore bringing into the experience of each and every person here on this Virch today the exact desired good that may appear to be lacking. For what we're doing right now is we open our minds to reveal that good as an experience in our life. Be that good the removal of what appears to be limitation or lack, the return of a full abundance of health and wholeness, where you wake up in the morning and you go throughout your day and you never think about your body because you don't feel it because it feels so good. That's the experience that we're talking about that comes when we walk aligned with the divine. So it is from this place of conviction and awareness and knowingness that I accept for each and every person here the ability, the capacity to step into the knowing that I am one with God and I'm a vessel of the divine, and I walk my path into my good in each and every breath I take into the eternal moment called now. Feeling deep satisfaction and gratitude for the power of prayer and the truth and the revealing that is happening for each and every person here now, I release this word into a perfect law that says, yes, it is done, it is done, it is done. And so it is. So as we think about moving from the wonderful me, saying yes to the wonderful you, we recognize that wherever we go, because of this, not only do we have a divine friend, but we have a friend in each and every person that is not the other, but simply another. Let's go back to Aunt Carole Brown for more music.
When you're down and troubled and you need some love and care, and nothing is going right, close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you have to do is call, and I'll be there, yes I will. If the sky above you grows dark and full of clouds, and that old north wind begins to blow, keep your head together and call my name out loud. Soon you'll hear me knocking at your door. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you have to do is call, and I'll be there, yes I will. Now ain't it good to know you've got a friend? People can be so cold, they'll hurt you, they'll desert you, they'll take your soul winter, spring, summer, or fall. All you have to do is call, and I'll be there. Yes, I will. You've got a friend. Oh, you've got a friend. You've got a friend. Oh, yes, you do now. Yes, you've got a friend.
The spirit of abundance flows through me. It lives inside my breath. As I inhale, the flow of abundance resides in every breath.
Let's now move from our contemplation of abundance to our prayer or treatment for abundance for Center for Spiritual Living, Simi Valley. Join me now. Divine love is doing its perfect work here and now. Divine love harmonizes. Divine love adjusts. Divine love prospers. Divine love foresees everything and richly provides every good thing for CSL Simi Valley now. Divine love is victorious.
We joyously give, we joyously receive, we give joy, we receive joy. We are so grateful for the contributions to this center. We are so grateful for the contributions of this center. We are grateful for the law of circulation, and so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Rob. Beautiful. Wonderful, wonderful service. Thanks so much for all of you being here with us today. Some great comments. Of course, the question, the big question, how do we help another see from the lens, not see from the lens of the other? How do we help another not see from the lens of the other? ACB says that's the big question. Linda Legman says, who am I willing to be to produce an extraordinary result out of this intersection or interaction? Thank you, Linda, for that powerful question that you got from, I think it was Maria Namath, and she does have some really great books. Let's see what else. Oh, yeah, the gospel by Eugene. Get out of the way. Spirit, Live, love, and have life through me. A lot of you love the Gospel of Eugene. Dorothy was channeling St. Francis, saying, make me a channel of your peace. Just be love. Edith is another fan of the Gospel of Eugene and also wanted to recognize Eugene's contributions to the Science and Mind magazine. John Newell, watching very carefully, says concepts can be a block to our deepest experience of life, and that man's laws were made for those who do not yet learned how to love. Man's laws were made for those who have not yet learned how to love. Patty says, I am a vessel. Use me now. I'm a vessel. Use me now. Just be. Thank you so much for that. And thank you to all the contributors to the service today. Of course, our announcements from Kathy, the Soul Purpose Band, and Cherie Deeds, and all the members of the band, Steve Fowler, Gary Malure, John Bellis, Darlene Bellis, Lynn Maxim, and Lane Taylor, and did I say Steve Fowler? Steve Fowler, from afar, Rick Ericky, and always Saul. We got to remember our drummer Saul, who's also a part of the Soul Purpose Band. So all of you, just thank you so much for the music that you bring to us, have brought to us over the years. Great love for Rob and his art today. Art is affirmation, reading, and treatment, and also doing the Gap the God Awareness Place. We've got Floyd Lula coming up with our closing song, and of course Angela's songs today were absolutely fantastic. Reverend Johanna's taking a day off, so we don't have her today, but we're always grateful to have her partaking in the service, and in the back room receiving text to remind me to turn the mic down just a little bit. So always there in the background helping out. We do definitely appreciate that. We will be having a Virch service, and I'm going to post the Virch link during Jamie's song at the end. So do come and join us for Opere Virch. In the Zoom room, we'll spend 30 minutes together just chitting and chatting. And that brings us to the close of the month of February, to the close of today's service. And we always close with our benediction from one of my first teachers, one of my first spiritual papas, Dr. Mark Vieira, and it goes like this. I'm at home in the heart of God. My life is anchored in truth. I can never be separate. I live in the consciousness of peace. I release all fear. I am living love. Looking forward to seeing you all next week. And now, Floyd, quick tip for them. Every Wednesday at 4 o'clock on Facebook, Amy Steinberg. At 5 o'clock on Facebook, Gary Lynn Floyd. And at 6 o'clock on Facebook, Jamie Lula. Every Wednesday. And then you can come to the Wednesday experience after that. So just wanted to let you know that these two gentlemen are putting music out for you during the week. Here they are, Floyd, Lula.
Hey, Simi Valley. We're grateful that you're here. This is from Floyd Lula.
We love you. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. In the name of love, with a heart of grace, overflow in us and decorate this place. As it is below, so it is above. May we always stand in the name of love. When the veil is gone, there's only one of us, only one, in the name of love. When the day is done, we will sing this song all as one, in the name of love. In the name of love, may we always be seeking out the best till we all are free, living in a world we've been dreaming of, where we stand as one in the name of love. When the veil is gone, there's only one of us, only one, in the name of love. When the day is done, we will sing this song all as one, in the name of love. In the name of love. In the name of love. When the veil is gone, there's only one of us, only one. In the name of love. When the day is done, we will sing this song all as one. In the name of love. When the veil is gone, there's only one of us, only one. In the name of love. When the day is done, we will sing this song all as one. In the name of love. 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 Oh yeah. In the name of love. 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 Peace and blessing. We love you.
You call me out upon the waters, the great unknown, where feet may fail. And there I find you in the mystery, in oceans deep, my faith will stand. And I will call upon your name and keep my eyes above the waves. When oceans rise, my soul will rest in your embrace. For I am yours and you are mine. Your grace abounds in deepest waters. Your sovereign hand will be my guide. Where feet may fail and fear surrounds me, you never failed and you won't start now. So I will call upon your name and keep my eyes above the waves. When oceans rise, my soul will rest in your embrace. For I am yours and you are mine. where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in the presence of the Spirit. Spirit leads me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in the presence of the Spirit. Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in the presence of the Spirit.